It's amazing when I look at your Twitter feeds. I mean, you put it all out there. You are not shy or inhibited at all. Why is it that this is the one topic that we see all around us, pornography, but when you talk about it, shh, you're not supposed to talk about that stuff?
There's still such a taboo on actually verbally saying it. We know everyone's doing it. We know it's out of control. We know people are looking online for sex information, but nobody really wants to talk about it. And when I text, when I tweet my tweets, and they're very raw and they're full of information, people are just amazed. They're like, how can you say this? Is this smut? Mm-hmm. Should you even be saying this? Are you really a doctor? And really when it boils down to it.
And you're a doctor, you have a medical degree, you've done all that stuff.
Yes, I've done all that stuff. A medical degree, a PhD, so
no TV doctor.
No TV doctor here. But I feel as though the information is so important because what's happening is people are having sex and doing sexual things, but they're afraid to talk about it, and that type of fear in communication is really what's causing all of our problems with HIV and AIDS, unwanted pregnancies, just the list goes on and on and on. Even when we go back to kids, even molestation, these are conversations that we have to start having with kids and as you grow through life as adults.
It's very interesting. When you look at the people who get divorced, money is always a critical issue, but sex is always a major part of that as well. Lack thereof, demands on it. And I want to tell you a story. I want to get your thoughts on it. So during the campaign, I remember when there was one night, an election night, and then Senator Obama was on stage. He had won a particular primary, and then he said, give it up for Michelle. Doesn't my wife look good? So we're on the set, and Hillary Rosen, another CNN contributor, she says, I wish he would just sometimes say that his wife was smart. Why does he always have to remark on how she looks? And I said, are you out of your mind? I said, I guarantee you every married woman would rather have her man say she looks good than she's smart. So I did a quick poll about the women in the studio, and they all said, yeah, I know I'm smart. I want my man telling me I'm fine. Right. And so we joked about it, and I put it out there in the social media world, but it's also true. In these relationships, it's interesting how you have women who married who stop commenting about how their man looks, and their man stops commenting about how their woman looks, and that then impacts the intimacy in a relationship.
Oh, definitely. Absolutely. I mean, you have to stroke your partner's ego and let them know how sexy they are and how good they look to you on a regular basis. Because honestly, and we forget this about men, we really do, that men are just as sensitive as women are. They want to know they look good.
Men sensitive as women? Really?
Even more sensitive. So, if you just take the time to remember to compliment each other, particularly men. I mean, you got to compliment your guy and tell him he looks good, tell him his butt looks good, go there with it, because those are the types of things that helps keep him feeling appreciated, and that's important.
What also is interesting, my sister sent me an email. Her kids were visiting us on the summer a couple of years ago, and she said, and look, I know you like being touchy-touchy with your wife, but don't do it around the kids. I said, well, first of all, this is my house. I said, so you don't tell me what to do in my house. But also, I had to explain to her that growing up in our home, we would often see our parents kissing, hugging, holding hands. You see a light pat on the butt. I saw it with my grandparents as well. And so do those images as well seep into our minds when we are seeing couples being affectionate? But then the opposite, if we don't see that plays a role in how we are in our own relationships?
Oh, absolutely. And you can tell a person who grew up in a guarded household, who's afraid to touch and doesn't know that type of touching is part of communicating and part of showing someone that you love them. So, of course, just like that rubs off on a young person, so does yelling and arguing. And so we go through lives and we kind of just think the kids are just there, but kids are sponges. So if you're affectionate and treating someone nice and showing them that you care and that you appreciate them, that type of thing is modeled in the kids later on in their relationships, not just with their partners, but as their friends as they get a little older. Just like chaos, confusion, arguing, and yelling is modeled too.
Biggest mistake guys make when it comes to intimacy or sex?
Biggest mistake is not figuring out what their partner wants, assuming that this girl or this woman is just like the last one they dated. She likes just the same things. What you'll notice is women, we're all very different. Some of us don't even want to be touched on the shoulder, where the other one loves a shoulder rub. So when it comes to sex, that's the biggest problem. Guys not asking.
Biggest problem women make.
Ooh, biggest problem women make.
Be honest. Your homegirls are going, she doesn't want to go there. Be honest. Come on. You're going to dog the brothers, dog the sisters.
The biggest problem problem I see with women is that we do a worse job of presenting a sex drive early on that doesn't match what our real sex drive is. So, for example, early on in the relationship, yes, acting like you want to have sex all the time in all these different places and giving a false advertisement, can I say that?
Or doing it, but then once you're married, then you stop.
Yeah, we see that a lot. But guys are stopping doing things too. They're not buying the gifts quite like they used to.
But you make the argument that, look, if you do it before, you better keep doing it after.
Absolutely. That's big. If you did it before, you need to do it after. If you worked out before, you need to do it after. If you had sex before, you need to do it after. That's part of life.
All right, folks, we're out of time. But go to Dr. Rachel's website. Follow her on Twitter. She's a hoot. Trust me, but you'll learn a lot.